February 28. 509 B.C. Battle of the Å'suvian Fields, in which the Tarquins were vanquished and expelled from Rome, with the loss of more than 11,000 citizens on the side of the victors. 509 B.C. Lucius Junius Brutus, the avenger of the rape of Lucretia, and founder of the Roman Republic, fell at the Battle of the Å'suvian Fields. The fury of the encounter between him and his adversary, that their shields were mutually pierced, and each fell dead from his horse transfixed by the lance of his enemy. 628. Chosroes II, king of Persia, died. He carried his arms into Judea, Libya and Egypt, and made himself master of Carthage. He forced the Roman emperor, Heraclius, to sue for peace, but his country was soon after penetrated by the Romans, his palace pillaged and burnt, and himself dethroned and cast into prison by his own son, after witnessing the massacre of 18 other sons. 1408. Battle of Bromhamore. 1447. Humphrey, Duke of Gloucester, murdered. He was the rival of Cardinal Beaufort, as the head of affairs in England, and was the friend and patron of learning. The cardinal lived to enjoy his triumph but 6 weeks. 1582. George Buchanan, a Scottish poet and historian, died. He occupied the last 12 years of his life in writing a history of his country in Latin. 1594. William Fleetwood, an English lawyer, died. He was recorder of the city of London in the reign of Elizabeth, and the author of several law treatises. 1604. John Whitgift, Archbishop of Canterbury, died. He was unwearied in his efforts to make the Puritans conform to the national church. 1610. The House of Commons complained of the king's profusion, especially in the immense sums lavished on Scotch favourites. 1642. Charles I of England sent to the House of Commons his reasons for refusing the Militia Bill. The House declared his advisers public enemies, and passed a vote of approval on the counties which had put themselves in a posture of defence. 1648. Christian IV of Denmark, died. He sustained the character of an able and wise sovereign. 1680. Deacon and ensign were sent out from Fort Crevecoeur on the Illinois, to trace the Mississippi to its source. They ascended the river to the 46th degree, where they were stopped by a fall, to which they gave the name of St. Anthony. 1703. John Baptist Byers, died. A doctor of the Sorbonne, and professor of the belles lettres at Paris. 1734. Battle in Syria between the Turks, 45,000, and the Persians under Kublai Khan. The Turks were marching to succor Babylon, but were defeated with the loss of 20,000 killed on the field or taken prisoners. The victory cost the Persians 10,000 men. 1735. Large statues of George II set up in the Royal Hospital at Greenwich, England, at the expense of Sir John Jennings and sculptor Mr. Risbrook. 1736. A proposal submitted to the House of Commons in England, to levy a duty on distilled spirituous liquors, so as to prevent the ill consequence of the poorer classes drinking them to excess. It was stated that some signs where they were sold had the following inscription: drunk for a penny, dead drunk for 2 pence, clean straw for nothing. 1757. Edward Moore died. An English fabulist and dramatic writer of considerable note. 1758. Action between the French fleet under Duquesne and the British, under Saunders, near Carthage. The British captured the Foudroyant, 80 guns, and Orfee, 64 guns. The Oriflamme, 50 guns, was driven on shore under the castle of Aglos, coast of Spain. 1759. The Pope permitted the Bible to be translated into all the languages of the Catholic states. 1760. Action between the French fleet under Thourat and the British, Captain Elliot. 3 French frigates were captured and Thourat killed. So great a terror had he created in the seaports of Great Britain, that his defeat was celebrated with the greatest rejoicings. 1771. Richard Grey, a learned English divine, died. He was a polemical and miscellaneous writer. 1781. William Stockton died, a signer of the Declaration of Independence from New Jersey. 1783. John Baptiste d'Espanac, a French general, died. He signalized himself in the campaign of Italy. 1795. 500 emigrant slaves passed through the city of Albany between sunrise and sunset, on their way to the Genesee country. It was estimated that as many as 1,200 slaves, freighted with men, women, children and furniture, had passed up State Street in the space of 3 days, destined for the Genesee Valley, the far west of the emigrants of that day. 1799. Bonaparte reached the city of Gaza in Palestine. 1799. Action between the British frigate Sibylla and French ship La Forte, 50 guns. The latter was captured in 1 hour 40 minutes. The British lost 2 of their highest officers. 1804. Picagru, the conqueror of Holland, arrested at Paris by order of Bonaparte. 1815. Action between the United States frigate Constitution, 44 guns, Captain Stewart, and British frigate Cyane and sloop Levant, 54 guns, Captain Falcon. British loss, 40 killed, 80 wounded. Constitution lost 4 killed, 11 wounded. The Cyane and Levant were captured. 1823. William W. Van Ness, an eminent judge of the New York Supreme Court, died. 1834. Modeste Malahiat, the Canadian giant, died. His height was 6 feet 4 inches, and his weight 619.5 pounds. 1837. Adam Binkley, died in Davidson County, Pennsylvania, aged 138. He was an officer of the Revolution and served throughout the war, at which time he had a wife and 11 children. 1843. A remarkable comet first observed in the northern states, which caused considerable controversy whether it was a comet or the zodiacal light. It was first seen at noon, and was distinctly observed with the naked eye from 7 to 9 o'clock in the evening during the month of March. Its train extended about 70 degrees to 100 degrees. 1851. The Spanish government of Manila totally destroyed the forts of the Pirate Sultan of Sulu. 1853. Doncaster Church, England, built in 1070, destroyed by fire. 1854. Earthquake at Lexington, Kentucky, and surrounding country, attended by a loud roaring noise. 1854. American steamer Black Warrior, seized by the Cuban authorities at Havana. 1855. An earthquake at Bruausa killed or wounded about 800 people, and was succeeded by a fire which destroyed nearly 1/3 of the houses.